Let your spirit soar in the Red Lake Touring Region in northwestern Ontario, Canada. Camp at a secluded lakeside park. Drive or fly in to a wilderness fishing lodge. Take in the great summer festivals or come for the fall waterfowl and big game hunting. This is adventure in the great outdoors at its best. Your journey begins in Vermilion Bay at the junction of Highway number 17 and Highway number 105. Sit back and enjoy the relaxing drive from your front row seat to the natural beauty of this special part of the world. See the many shades of green, beautiful lakes and streams, and the spectacular scenery in the heart of the Canadian Shield. The view is an ever-changing scene characterized by a labyrinth of water, thick forests, and rugged granite rock. This 120-mile stretch of road is the most northerly paved highway in Ontario, providing access to some of the province's best fishing lodges, resorts, and recreational areas. Throughout the trip, you have a real chance of observing some of the many species of wildlife that call this home. The region boasts one of the highest concentrations of moose found anywhere. There's white-tailed deer, fox and wolves, black bears, a multitude of waterfowl, and other birds including raptors like bald eagles, hawks, and osprey, as well as upland game birds like the spruce grouse and the ruffed grouse. The first town in the Red Lake Touring Region is Ear Falls, the bald eagle capital of North America. In the late 1920s, a power dam was built at Ear Falls, providing the electricity to develop the mines in nearby Red Lake and allowing control of flooding along the English River system, including Lac Seul. When the road reached Ear Falls in 1947, it brought with it adventurous tourists eager to experience the untouched wilderness. Today, the town is a modern community with attractions like a golf course, museum, stores, and services, plus over 40 resorts in the area offering great fishing, hunting, and wilderness experiences. The Patricia Waterfront Park, located on the shores of Lac Seul, just above the dam, is a great place to stop for tourist information, picnics, family gatherings, and local events such as the Trout Forest Music Festival. A unique attraction of the park and icon of Ear Falls history is the restored Patricia, one of 5 tugs that hauled freight along the English River during the 1930s. In mid-August, the Trout Forest Music Festival takes place at the Waterfront Park with a host of world-class Canadian and international bands and performers. Festival goers spend the weekend at nearby accommodations or camp right at the festival site. Great music in the wilderness of northwestern Ontario is just one more good reason to visit Ear Falls.
The artists come from all over North America, and they're rock bands, they're blues bands, they're Celtic musicians, they're fiddlers, they're singer-songwriters, and they're young kids on their first gig, and they're old veterans entertaining an audience, and it's just an amazing experience to enjoy.
The best thing about this festival, the music, of course. When I come up to Canada to play any folk festival, I'm a happy camper, no pun intended, but it's a special thing. It's a real special thing.
As you continue northward en route to Red Lake and the end of the road, there are more great places to stop and visit or stay along the way. Packwash Provincial Park, located along number 105, is the perfect destination to stop for a day or to camp for a week and explore beautiful Packwash Lake, part of the Chikooni River system. Set among the classic northwestern Ontario landscape of lakes and forests, the park offers great campsites, wilderness trails, a playground and picnic area, plus access to the area's great fishing, boating, water sports, and one of the most beautiful beaches in the province. A little further along the road is the Griffith Mine site. The rehabilitated iron ore mine is now a blossoming nature area and wildlife habitat, with a beautiful lake and a maze of roads and hiking trails you can use to get around the large area. At the end of Highway number 105, you will find yourself in the picturesque municipality of Red Lake, gateway to the Woodland Caribou Park and the Norseman capital of the world. It really is the end of the road and the jumping off point for all types of outdoor adventures. Nearby lodges, camps, motels, restaurants, businesses, and the friendly people of Red Lake make it so easy to enjoy this wilderness paradise. Charter a float plane for an aerial tour, hike the Millennium Trail, check out the northernmost golf course in Ontario, hire a guide, or rent a boat and take in the beauty of Red Lake from the water. Take in the history and culture of Red Lake through the recently opened Heritage Center. Interpretive displays cover the local gold mining industry, the fur trade, and local First Nations themes and artifacts. There are displays on aviation in the north and the history of logging, freight hauling, and development in the region.
Basically, these are 24 calendars that were collected by Frank Reed, who was a local here. He lived in Koshner, and he was a company store manager for the Hudson Bay Company for a year. And he collected all these beautiful calendars, and his son Graham donated them to us, and we decided to make an exhibit out of it and put them all up.
One of the highlights of summer in Red Lake is the Norseman Festival weekend. From kids' entertainment and float plane rides to the pilots' reunion, the beer gardens and live bands playing for enthusiastic crowds, it's a great time to visit. There are shops, craft booths, food stands, activities, and displays set up all along Howie Street. Stroll down to the town dock and climb aboard a Norseman float plane and experience what the area looks like from the air in one of these vintage aircraft. Sunday marks the finals of the Norseman Games with unique crowd pleasers like the famous float pumping competition. And the highlight of the festival, the Norseman float plane parade and flyby. The roar of radial engines and the final low-altitude flyby and wing dips is a scene reminiscent of a World War II-era squadron. These classic aircraft are still commercially operating and have played an important role in the history of Red Lake, as well as Canadian aviation. The fishing in the region is legendary, with incredible angling opportunities for walleye, the larger, more aggressive northern pike, and muskie, smallmouth bass, and in the deeper bodies of water, lake trout. From roadside boat launches to drive-in lodges to remote fly-in resorts and outposts, there are a lot of options for anglers. The quality of fishing in places like Lac Seul and the English River system, Packwash Lake, Red Lake, Gull Rock Lake, and throughout the Woodland Caribou Park cannot be understated. Local fishing tournaments attract some of the top professional anglers in North America who come to experience the extraordinary fishery.
Good fish, a lot of big fish. And most of them are going back in the lake too. That's what's neat about it. Great fish.
Red Lake is the access point for flying into the Woodland Caribou Park. The park is vast, with thousands of square miles of totally pristine wilderness. It's part of the largest tract of natural boreal forest left on the continent. With roughly 1,000 visitors per year in the park, it's one of Canada's least visited, but most spectacular wilderness parks.
My husband is coming along. He's been canoeing for 40-some years. And then we have our friend Linda, who is from Bremerton, Washington, and a frequent canoeing partner of ours. And our friend Haynes from Canoe, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. And that's our crew.
Well, let's see, getting out of the Georgia heat and getting into some good Canadian weather up here. Looking forward to fish. We don't get fish like this down in Georgia. And paddling. Paddling's my life. Love it.
This is going to be a great time. Lots of fish, lots of blueberries, lots of cranberries, lots of paddling.
There is so much more to see and do in the region, and we invite you to come and experience it. Drive the 105 and see the wilderness. Spot a moose, cast for a lunker, fly in a float plane, rent a cabin or a room, breathe fresh air, dance under the stars at a festival, enjoy clean, unpolluted lakes, or fly into the Woodland Caribou Park and paddle the remote wilderness for a week. Wherever you go, whatever you do here, there are friendly, knowledgeable people around to help make your visit fantastic. What are you waiting for? Let your spirit soar in the Red Lake touring region. Call us or visit us online today for free information. Visit redlakeregion.com. Toll free 877-266-5600. 3733.